Welcome back to the channel, guys. A quick video today on removing sort of soap stains and scum, the white streaking marks that you can sometimes get typically on your front windscreen that will not come off with traditional kind of glass cleaners. No sort of watery, clear glass cleaner that I've seen can take these types of marks out. What you need is a glass polish. Now, the difference between a glass polish and a glass cleaner is that this will contain some form of water miscible solvent, some detergents and stuff like that, and it has a good degreasing effect in combination with the microfiber, cleans up your glass and all that sort of stuff. Difference with a glass polish is that it will contain some abrasives, I believe, and it will be in a stronger solvent, a stronger sort of mineral spirit type solvent carrier. So you'll get a stronger degreasing effect. You'll also get the scrub from the abrasive, which is going to tear through this kind of fine layer of stuff. What causes it, guys? Well, it's products primarily. Soaps can do it if you put soaps on your glass and they bake on. Screen wash that's over concentrated, that's spraying all over your glass and then bakes on, can do it. A lot of kind of detail sprays and protective products now contain siloxanes which can bond onto the glass, and sometimes it can be those sorts of things, and really the only way to get them off is with a polish. So I'm using the Autoglym glass polish here because I've got it. I nicked this one off Reg, but this is a product that I had in my little box of detailing stuff many years ago. You don't need to use it for every single time you clean your glass. A polish is typically a little bit more messy than using a normal glass cleaner. The residue that it leaves is thick and white. You need to get it all off. You can use it on the interior as well, but you want to be careful with getting it all crammed into the edges and stuff like that. I'm going to use a simple microfiber block applicator that's quite sturdy. You'll be able to work the product a bit harder with a microfiber than you would a soft sort of sponge. You could use a sponge, but you want a nice stiff sponge. But microfiber applicator will be better, preferably a clean one. And then something to mop up all of the product. I've got some standard glass cleaner. What I'm going to show you first of all is, if you can see this, let me move this over here a little bit more so you got a better shot. I'm going to take this off my head. Now if I show you this glass, you cannot see anything really with this, especially with this camera shot, if I get it focused on my finger. So there's the surface of the glass. Looks like pretty clear, guys, doesn't it? I'm not entirely sure what you're seeing, but if I rub over this glass with a little bit of liquid, there, you see all those, can you see all those scummy marks? Stuff like that, right? You can they sort of kind of disappear. When the glass warms up, this product becomes more invisible. So you tend to see it when you first get in the car and there's some like moisture on top of it. And then when you drive the car and warm it up, it disappears. And you can see the line of the scummy stuff there. Right here, it ends, and that's the channel that the wiper blade kind of sits on. So it's abraded all of the scummy stuff off. So what I want to do, you can really see it when I wipe over it, right, and it will disappear. And it's all that stuff that you want to get off the glass. So let's try and shoot doing this. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, to make sure you can see, is I'm going to tape off a section which you could use the tape around the edges if you want to, if you're worried about the polish going in places where you don't want it to go. The tape is really there so I can show you afterwards that it's worked. So give this glass polish a good shake. Whoa, be careful when you open the lid because it goes everywhere. And I'm just going to put Yeah, about 3 dots. That's going to be enough because this is quite a new microfiber. It's going to get absorbed in there. But we're just going to work it over the surface, guys, so you can see what I'm doing here. Just pat some out. So. Okay, and I'm just going to work this in little circles. And you can see, hopefully you can see there the line of all of the stuff that we are trying to remove with this glass polish. There it goes. Whew. Holy shit. Okay guys, so now I've worked it over the surface. I'm going to let that abrasive dry, so all that solvent I was talking about is going to come out of it, and that means a bit like a wax, when it's dried it will buff off of the glass a lot easier. So you can see it there, and the thing to get those marks off, you've got to go in with a bit of elbow grease. That's why I'm breathing heavily, guys. So I'll just show you. So it's got the product on it still, yeah. What am I worried about here? I'm worried about, so I scrubbed really vigorously here. I got all those scum stains off. I'm worried I didn't scrub with enough kind of pressure to get it all off here. But let's let it dry, buff it back. We're shooting this one live, so what we see is what we get. Sometimes it's a bit of a suck it and see type scenario. So how long does it say leave this stuff? So we're still waiting for this stuff to go to a dry film. You can see it hazing up. So this is going to go all opaque in a minute. Okay guys, that'll do. I would perhaps, if I wasn't filming and running my batteries down, just leave this longer because there's a patch up here that hasn't fully hazed out. But let's get this off the glass now anyway. So I've got a clean waffle weave towel. I'm just going to take it off around the edges first, so I don't rub, when I'm taking it off, I don't rub all of that stuff into the rubbers and stuff like that, so it should just be a bit easier to remove now. Right, there we go. Hopefully you can see this. It polishes back, like it buffs out quite nice, this stuff. Right, very easy to buff off. See, it hasn't really even got stuck in any of the chips I've got, although these are very small chips. But you do need to be careful with it with chips. Right, let's stick this back on my noggin. Take this bit of tape off. There. Now, what I want to do, so I get this glass cloth again. I just want to put a liquid on here because it's how it will show if it's still there. Now if I wipe over this time, you can see this glass, let me take this thing off my head, this glass, that soap stain stuff and crap has now gone, especially up here where it was really bad, like little weird funky footprints. And if I go down here below the line and buff, can you see that? Hopefully you can. All this crap is still there. So you go from that to just clean glass, which is what you want. And like I say guys, no normal glass cleaner. I've got normal liquid glass cleaner on here. I can rub on this all day long and it is not going to get it off. It will just, it's just stuck to the glass basically. So there you go. Let me come back to the final piece to camera. Oof. Okay guys, thanks for watching. That's how I deal with that scummy stuff that is on your glass. Like I say, let me know your tips for doing this. Do you use a machine polisher? Because you've got to work this quite hard. But I figure by the time I've busted out the machine polisher, I've only really got to do it on the front glass. Maybe the back, I'll have a look. By the time I've busted the machine polisher out and set the pads up and all that sort of stuff, and it's a bit harder to really work into the corners and down the bottom scuttle part with the machine polisher. So I think you might be better off doing this by hand with a good sturdy cheap microfiber block. Some waffle weaves will do well as the second towel to kind of go back and buff. When you're spreading that product out and it sits on top, it's quite a murky polish. You won't always see what's going on underneath. So the trick is to work your target section. I break it down into 4 and work it with quite a lot of pressure and spend that time rubbing that area quite a bit. If you just go over and do it very, very quickly, you won't get it all off. You know, it takes some elbow grease. Also, let that polish dry off because it's much easier to remove without any kind of streaking. And it's quite an easy product to use. If you do have loads of chips all over your glass screen, then like I say, the cocktail stick, you don't need any fancy detailing stick. You know, I'm sure you could buy these painted red, you know, with deluxe JML 2000 cocktail stick that costs 20 quid a stick, but a normal cocktail stick will do. A little stiff nylon brush, a really aggressive toothbrush, might also be good for getting those little nylon bits in there, and some glass cleaner while you're doing it, just to get that polish out with a microfiber to absorb it. If you've got very old glass that's got loads of chips, it'd be hard for you to avoid filling all of those chips up with polish. But I can't think of any other way to get those soap stain scum off of the car without using a glass polish. I don't think there's any other chemical that you could use to strip it. It's really takes some scrubbing to get it off. A water spot remover won't do it. The normal glass cleaners, as I've talked about, won't do it. This will do it, and it's just a very simple product, a glass polish that, like I say, you don't want to use every week, but it's a very handy thing to have in your arsenal, and I think the product's quite good as well. So let me know how you do it, guys, and let me know in the comments and all that sort of stuff. But this is a very common problem, this is, and I've got to go and probably do the Golf now as well. I just don't care, because like I say, once the glass warms up on the Golf, it goes away. But next time I wash the Golf, I'll go through and I'll do it, because it is nice to, even on the old, you know, the old thing that I don't care about, it's nice to have a clear windscreen, isn't it? But on the M140, yeah, I really want to keep it nice and clean. So I've now got to go ahead and do the other 4 sections. So a bit of exercise there, so it's all good.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when you went home?